Hey everyone, and welcome back to Wealth Up. It's time for another budget review and net worth update. As always, I'm here to share my financial journey with you, both the triumphs and the occasional stumbles. This month, we'll be diving deep into my April expenses, analyzing where my money went and how well I stuck to my budget. I had one trip early in the month and booked a trip for late May. I have to admit I did spend a lot, but did I overspend? Or was I able to stay on budget? Before getting into the details, I have to share two significant financial points from this month. The first is that I've been debating purchasing another house. I live in an area that is very competitive, but due to the continued increase in prices and high interest rates, it is less competitive these days. The norm around here was for homes to sell in the first day with multiple offers. This is true even before the uptick that happened during COVID. The new dynamics enabled for a less competitive landscape. I've gone to multiple open houses, checked inventory lately, and continue to crunch the numbers, and have decided that it's not ideal for me to make this investment right now. The current prices and interest rates push my budget too much, and I can get a better return from my money in the market instead. Because of this dilemma, I have paused all of my automated investments. This is important to note before I go into my detailed budget. The second thing is that before my trip, my car broke down. It died on me in the middle of an intersection on my way back to the office after my lunch break. I could not get it to start again, and I had not had any previous issues with it. I had to have it towed to the mechanic and had to wait for the diagnostics. Because I have set aside money for emergencies and have this fund allocated to cover these situations, I was not worried or stressed. I knew no matter what the issue was, I would be able to cover it without any issues. The peace of mind is worth so much that it's hard to put into words. Knowing that you are covered for these situations is worth the effort and discipline to stay on track. But did I manage to stay on track with my other financial goals? We'll be uncovering it all. But before we jump into the nitty-gritty, I'm also excited to share an update on my overall net worth. Did I see any positive changes this month? Let's embark on a financial transparency journey through April. Okay, let's jump into the spreadsheet. We'll start at the top with my paychecks. My first paycheck was for $3,502. My second paycheck was for $2,356. This is because of deductions that are taken for a stock purchase plan that I am a part of. In the next row, I added the rollover from March. This was money left to spend from the month of March. As I mentioned, because I was thinking about buying a house, I had my automated investments on pause. This brings my total income for the month of April to $18,499. Now let's go into investments and savings. The automated investments were paused. I did set aside $1,000 for my emergency fund and $500 for tax and insurance. In my monthly expenses category, I paid my mortgage for $1,100, and then my recurring monthly expenses are here. You'll note that my internet bill here was low. That's because I changed internet plans mid-month and actually overpaid last month. I'm compensating for that here. I also paid off my student loans for the month. Now let's look at the varying categories. We'll start off with fun money. For dinners and hangouts, I spent $322, $70 in subscriptions, and I ended up returning items from my shopping last month. That money is noted here. In my home expenses section, I have groceries. I spent money at Aldi and Walgreens. In the house section, I noted my car repair, which I mentioned earlier, was $295, and I also had to pay my taxes for last year. This totaled $1,650. And for gas, I spent $32. In the self-care category, I have a massage for $80. You'll note that I no longer have a gym. I decided to change gyms, and I'm in the middle of transitioning right now. For travel, I spent $947 on my family trip and spent $653 for my upcoming trip in May. This brings the total spend for travel to $1,600 for this month. Now, if we come back and look at this bottom section, you'll see that I have money left over to spend in the fun money category as well as self-care, but have exceeded 100% in home expenses and travel. Home expenses is due to the car repair and taxes paid. However, the other categories are still under control. After taking everything into consideration, I am left with $11,507 still left to spend. Let's look at my spending plan to see how I did. Let me take a moment to update the income and expenses for this month. Okay, now looking at the updated column, you'll see that my income has been updated to reflect the money that came in this month. These numbers are the same as in the previous tab, and all of my expenses have been updated. Here you'll note what my targets were for the variable expenses as well as the household expenses. And I still have $11,507 left to spend. This will be rolled over into May, and I will be investing this money as I should have back in March. Now let's see how my net worth has changed. We'll start off by noting my liabilities. These are all my debts that I have. For me, they are mortgages, in total $314,200. My student loans are $10,820. This brings my total liabilities as of April 2024 to $325,020. Now let's look at my assets. The value of my houses is $480,000. These are values that I take from Zillow. I know that they're not completely accurate, but they give me a good idea on the evaluation. The value of my car, I'll note as $11,800, bringing it down slightly this month. My investments totaled $491,000. This is a decrease compared to last month due to some market dynamics and also the fact that I haven't invested in the last few months. And next, in cash, I have $35,000. This brings the total value of my assets to $1,017,800. And my net worth for the month of April to $692,780. You'll see that there is a decrease compared to last month. This is primarily coming from the ups and downs in the market and my investments. Compared to January, however, you still see a positive increase. I hope you found this video informative and maybe a little inspiring. Not because of my numbers specifically, but instead the process of tracking and planning. You can do this too, in your own way, of course. Remember, everyone's financial journey is unique, and what works for me might not work for you. The important thing is to be mindful of your spending, set realistic goals, and celebrate your progress along the way. If you have any questions or comments about my budget or net worth, feel free to leave them down below. I'm always happy to chat and learn from others on their financial journeys as well. As always, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more personal finance content coming soon. Until next time.